What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy BDammone.
Coach Gomez.
In the house. This is episode 140 of Along the Wire. This is going to be the top 10 of 2023 episode. If you watched the last episode, you know we did 11 through 30. So it was only right the next episode be the top 10.
Yep.
So we want to say we are back at Level Up Productions in the studio once again. And the homie Joe has us all hooked up and looking right. So all the visuals that you see are provided by the man himself.
Yeah, there's only one complaint I got, man. The maroon. But you're wearing the Jalen Jones beanie. Come on.
No, remember he said, I can't be around those colors.
Yeah.
Put me under those colors.
Yeah, but he's wearing Jason. I understand he's supporting the local kid, you know, for San Antonio. But at the same time, if you're going to support him all the way today. Use that maroon on your border.
Hey.
Hey,
I can change you real quick.
Nah, that's all good. That's all good.
Let's do that.
That's all good. No. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, you know, always supporting Jalen Jones and the Jones family.
For sure, man.
Yeah. So it's been a great week. You know, I really appreciate all the feedback that we've been getting from episode 139. We dropped some snippets and we had some really good feedback from there. And, you know, shout out to everybody who's always active on the lives. As you can see, we have our Twitter handles. So make sure if you see our episodes, go ahead and follow SATXHSFB for Coach Gomez and follow me at BDammone. So that's exactly what it is.
Right there at the bottom also is the link right here.
Let's see. How do we do that? What side is that?
It's on this.
Yeah, this side,
Oh,
right?
this side. This side.
I got it.
Right there.
Right there. There we go.
Gotta learn that, right?
Exactly.
Always on the left side.
Exactly. So episode 140.
Yeah.
Should we just jump right into it?
Hey man, let's get to it.
All right, let's start off at number 10. Number 10, Mr. Carson Green. I got just a couple of notes on Mr. Green. This kid battled through injury last year, came back for a couple of games. Been seeing this kid since he was a freshman. He's been fighting. I have down for Mr. Green, as everybody already knows, a relentless runner, runs with an attitude, has a nose for the end zone. 3,900 rushing yards in his high school career so far, and 40 touchdowns. Like I was saying on the last episode, there's something different about that team when he's on the field. I
mean, he's a captain, leader. I believe he's a 4-year letterman that's on varsity.
Exactly.
So, you know, each year he's probably progressed a lot more. Oh, not probably. He's definitely progressed a lot more respect. Not only that, just being consistent in who he is and what he does out there on the football field, you know, you'll get a lot of respect off your peers.
Exactly. So that is number 10, Carson Green. Let's move on to number 9, Alejandro Tavares. This is a kid that popped up on the scene last year and put up number 1 numbers as the proverbial number 2 receiver for the Johnson Jaguars.
Yeah.
He did have this season under Coach Soto, who is now, as we said on the last episode, at Judson. But hey, nonetheless, he put up the 62 catches for 982 yards and 16 touchdowns. Let me make sure I got that right. 12 touchdowns, 982 yards, 62 catches. I got for Mr. Tavares: runs through tackles, good vision, takes great angles, blocks, and is a clutch performer, an all-around football player. Who just burst out on the scene last year.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's move on to number 8. Ricky Gonzalez II. This is the Antonian receiver. He had 111 yards last year on 69 receptions. On 69 receptions, and he himself had 16 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, he's a kid that's really used. See, he was at Brandeis before, right? And there's a lot of kids that'll transfer over and just kind of when they transfer, they kind of blend in.
Right.
He really did. I guess when he transferred over, he pressed the reset button. You know what I mean? Really focused. Got to business. Got to work.
Right.
Found himself a trainer and started doing what he had to do.
Coach Miller,
Coach Miller, started doing what he had to do, man. And the dude's doing phenomenal right now. And that right there is a definition of hard work. If there's a kid out there right now that I can say, you know, because we had other kids back in the days that we knew who were the hard workers.
Exactly.
And that's a kid definitely who's out there grinding all the time.
who's getting the most out of his abilities too.
Yeah, definitely. So I look forward to seeing what he does this season.
Definitely. I have the attributes for Mr. Ricky Gonzalez as a elite route runner, great releases, catch radius, elite hands. Everything you want in a receiver. So shout out to Ricky Gonzalez. We have him here at number 8. Let's go to number 7. Mr. Houston Hendricks.
Yeah.
Committed to Air Force. Congratulations, Houston, on doing that. He's an athlete. He's one of them kids I just talked about on the live from Bernie. Huge kid, 6'3", 220 pounds. Had 100 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 defensive touchdown, and 9 offensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he does it on both sides of the ball. He's a heavy hitter, a big athlete, and plays multiple positions for the Greyhounds. I look forward to seeing what he does in his senior year because, like, as I've been saying, and as you can see, seniors, when it's that last year and you have an athlete like him, he's gonna turn some even more heads.
Yeah, he's a kid that came on really big towards, the end of the, was it spring?
Right.
His father isn't his father a coach out there as well. So, when you're a coach's kid, there's high expectations. Not only that, you can't coach size.
Exactly.
Kid has the size. I know he was once committed to Louisiana Tech.
Right.
I believe he just did a different decision for long run possibly. And he feels a home there at Air Force, and good luck to the kid. I look forward to see what he does also this season.
Exactly. All right, that is number 7. Let's move on to number 6. One of my favorite kids, Braden Flowers.
Yeah.
You want to talk about him?
Oh, man.
We only got a couple of minutes, but
Nah, I'll let you start, and I'll chime in there.
Okay, so tight end, Central Catholic, elite catcher, smart player, multi-position player is what I have for him.
Yeah, soft hands, catch radius is great. Even when he's on the defensive side of the ball, fires off well. Always has his eyes out there in the backfield, playing, shedding off defenders. Great teammate, man. Great teammate.
He was one of the few who, when I would talk about kids going out and supporting their quarterbacks, he was the one who went to the Elite 11 workouts.
Yeah, for sure.
And was making sure that his quarterback was getting it in and working out with him, and they developed a huge rapport.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that was a big reason why they had their success last year. Not only that, he's a guy that's easy to talk to. He'll go up to his coaches also, and he's easy to speak with, so they all talk. He's not one of those kids who shies away from speaking to somebody or speaking up. So that also plays a big role with these young athletes.
Right.
Being able to talk to someone and, eye to eye and just hold a conversation. The kid can hold a conversation, and that's great. Yeah.
As you can see by the edit, he is committed to SMU.
Yeah.
That was a big loss for everybody who didn't get him. And at SMU, he's going to be playing on the defensive side.
Yeah, he will.
So that's even better because, that's just more of the athlete that he is. They're going to have to they're going to be able to use him in certain instances if they ever do need somebody in a goal line situation or something like that, because
he creates mismatches either way, because the kid's fast, kid's got some hands. I'm just excited to see the way he bounces back from last year's injury.
Exactly.
Because that was a huge loss for Central Catholic going into the late rounds of the playoff. I think having him and Caleb Harrison would have been huge going in against Midland. But with those guys out, and injuries happen, things happen, but I think it would have been a different outcome.
Right. All right, let's move on to number 5. And now at number 5, we have got Judson Rocket Anthony Evans III.
Yes, sir.
This is a elite speed receiver, quick, strong hands, and makes contested catches. This is a kid who's been on the ascension from a freshman. I think he's always had moments during seasons, but the consistency has been the only thing that's people have been wanting to see from him. But consistency comes with opportunity. So I believe that this year you're finally going to get to see what I call a culmination of Anthony Evans with Coach Soto and the quarterbacks that Judson has right now.
Oh, most definitely. I know last year he didn't really have anyone who could really distribute the ball to him, and he was limited to what he can do as far as with jet sweeps and so forth.
Right.
Which he was successful in. This year, I think if they spread the ball going downfield, let's go vertical with him using his speed, him being a track guy. It's going to be a different result this year. I know he has a transfer that came in from San Benito and Andres, which we're all curious to see what he does.
Who's looking sharp, who's been working.
Yeah. And then you also got another quarterback there as well, and Jaden Castile. And Jaden Castile has the respect from his peers as well. And I think Jaden's one of those, I would say, like a Swiss Army knife.
Right.
I saw him work over the spring, a little bit over the summer. Ran some 7-on-7 with them. Great athlete, great speed, can play defense, can play some offense, can play some receiver, can play some quarterback. But I'm just curious to see how they'll end up distributing the ball to Anthony and who's going to be distributing the ball.
And if you look at the spring game clip that Dave Campbell's and a bunch of other services picked up, they hit him in the flats. He was able to make a couple guys move. So I love seeing the strength in his legs to be able to stop on a dime like he did and then shake off the tackler and then, boom, just run by like 6-7 people. Because the second that he gets a couple steps on you, it can be over.
Oh, for sure. And we know that, 7-on-7 in football is not, it translates, but it doesn't in a way.
Right.
But as far as the 7-on-7 as far as a passing game, he was doing great this summer.
Exactly.
Running with Fast 7 and ran a little bit with DEFCON and stuff. But he was creating mismatches. The dude was a key receiver on some of those tournaments, so that's where I'm excited to see is, all right, cool. I want to see this transition over to tackle football. And let's see if anybody can get in the ball because the kid can surely run. He can surely get open.
Exactly.
Now, is somebody have the arm strength to get it to him?
Yeah, exactly.
And be accurate and get it to him.
Exactly. And he is down to, he's not committed. He's down to 4 schools. He's trying to decide between Penn State, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Georgia. So he's set a commitment date of August 26th, and the first game of the season is August 27th. So he wants to get it out the way and be focused and ready for the season.
Awesome.
So let's move on to number 4. Gavin Woods. Gavin Woods is a kid who is one of my favorite kids as well. How many times have I said that now? I like this class. But Gavin Woods, I've been able to get close with him and follow him in these past couple of off seasons, and really in the playoffs, and now in this off season heavily. He is a complete tackler. He's an athlete, has great anticipation and a motor. Last year he had 29 tackles for loss, 17 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery and a defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
He is moving from defensive end to linebacker, so I'm really interested in seeing exactly how that goes, because he's going to have some more space to cover. And he's actually been more intrigued by the move himself. He thought the areas he might struggle in, he's actually having more of a success in like learning and switching to that position.
That's good, man. And like you said, he is a great athlete. He is going to do a transition this year, but he's another one who's been hot over this spring, where a lot of college coaches have been interested in him.
He just got back from a visit at Army.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah, he was out in Sam Houston.
State,
Yeah, so he's been out. And like you said,
has a preferred walk on at Texas.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see how it goes out for him.
Yeah, definitely. Gavin Woods is a kid to watch out for at number 4. Let's move on to number 3. Tyler Turner, committed to Oregon. This is a Brennan safety who's really been, he's right on schedule with everything that we've seen from him from a freshman to this point right now. His instincts are there defensively. He can get an interception and also come and attack down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Really does it all as a safety that you could ask for. And Oregon has a heck of a pickup, and he blew up over this spring as well.
Yeah, it started off with Baylor, and then from there it started trickling down. I mean, once Baylor offered him, I knew that was going to happen because I mean that's Aranda, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's a great defensive coach, great defensive coordinator, great head coach. And once that happened, I was like, you know, it's going to open up some eyes because he's a defensive guy, and all it takes is that one. And sure enough, it just started rolling for him. And you know, I think he was once committed to Baylor, and who else? Oh no, he was thinking OU,
right,
and
in between Oregon and
OU, yeah. So. You know,
but he picked up a slew of offers. He picked up a lot of offers after that Baylor offer.
And I'm glad, you know, I think he was excited at first, but then later on all these other options came in, and I'm glad that he went out there and he took his visits and found out exactly where he felt at home. And you know, Oregon is just a beautiful place.
It is, and that's what he expressed too.
Yeah, man, you're almost in for a football player, that's like your Disneyland. You know what I mean? You're out there just living it up, and Nike gives them all this stuff where they, you know, they kind of just show it off and then they have to return it. But hey, at the end of the day, you get to use a lot of the stuff, you know.
So he will be up in that's Eugene, right? Eugene?
Yep.
Yeah.
Eugene, Oregon.
So that is Tyler Turner of Brennan High School. Let's move on to number 2. Johnny Bowens. And Johnny Bowens, defensive lineman from Judson, was previously committed to Texas A&M.
Yep.
And he took a visit up to Oregon. So he is one to keep an eye on for where he's going to commit to. He's also got Texas. He's also got Oklahoma. He's got several schools that, you know, that will accept his offer. So, but him coming into this season, he is one of the most intriguing prospects because, also like Anthony Evans and wanting to see the consistency, this kid can really do it all on the defensive line. It's a mindset of, first of all, you got to know where he is at all time on the line because he can move to either side. He can play standing up. He can play with his hand in the ground, and he is a force to deal with. I often go over the stat line that he put up versus DeSoto, and he could do that every game. He can give you two sacks, four defended passes, 3 passes defended, and a forced fumble.
Yeah, he's just a big kid to stop, man, and it's not sloppiness either. He's well built. He has great structure, and I mean that's hard to stop.
Yeah,
especially when you got some speed mixed up with some strength.
And I'm definitely looking forward to that. I hate to even say it, but the week 2 matchup, because that's him going up against a lot of guys with offers at Westlake.
Yeah.
Just personally, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, that's a great test right there to see where you're at.
Yeah. So him versus TJ Shanahan and some of the other guys that they have on their offensive line is going to be awesome. Johnny Bowens is a true issue for any offense that is going to be playing against Judson. And when he puts his mind to it and just goes after it, there's not many who can stay in front of him that play high school football. So I'm looking forward to him being a terror on the defense for Judson. All right, let's move on to number 1. Who was number 1 in San Antonio, Texas? Dun dun dun. Ashton DeBose, quarterback, Brennan High School. I know I put this list together, but would you contest this?
I mean, might be another guy out there I think that can go back and forth with him. You know what I mean? But we're also talking a different position as well.
Right.
So it depends what you're looking at.
Right.
I mean, overall, if you're looking for someone who's a leader, you know, face of their school, you know, who's been leading that squad for the last 3 years,
right.
Of course, you know, there's no doubt.
Right.
But if we're looking at something like current,
right,
you know, it could be different.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he's deserved it, and he is your along the wire top 10 number 1 athlete.
Number 1, Ashton DeBose, 68 touchdowns last year, 53 passing, 15 rushing, over 3,000 yards passing, over 1,000 yards rushing. I mean, what's the award he won? He won the
Ford Player of the Year award.
Ford Player of the Year award for 6A football in Texas. This is a kid who I think if you put on any squad in San Antonio, like I said about this top 10, all these top 10 players, you have a inherited advantage of having them on your team.
Yeah.
They're that player that you have to make sure you know, like I said about Johnny, all these top 10 players you have to be aware of, and they can affect you and they can win a game single-handedly by themselves, given their effort and their talent and the positions that they're put in. And I think that ultimately Ashton DeBose has all those characteristics. He's able to run. He has touch on his passes. He has a good arm. I had Elijah I was talking with said that when he was at SFA at the camp, that all those passes that Ashton were throwing to him were like right up on him, and they were, they had some power to him. So he does have an arm. He has several offers right now. I think he has about three offers at this time.
I mean, the dude got some numbers, no doubt. Got the numbers, and not only that, your record speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
The record he has out there, Brennan, as a starting quarterback, that's ridiculous. So
exactly,
I mean, Brennan's, if they can get past that hump, that Austin area hump,
exactly,
they should be making a run. But it's like we hit the wall once we get to Austin.
Mm-hmm. And if it's, I forgot the team from 2 years ago, but that was his sophomore year. Then last year it was
Vandergriff.
No, not Vandergriff.
Yeah, his sophomore year.
His sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was Vandergriff.
Oh,
Steele lost to Vandergriff last year.
Oh, was it? No,
Yeah.
I thought it was the sophomore year. You said.
Yeah, his sophomore year. Was it Vandergriff?
I believe so.
I thought it was somebody else. All right, but yeah, either way, they were going into that game the favorite. Even last year versus Lake Travis, it was like, okay, this is the Lake Travis team that I think can be beat.
Yeah.
So for Brennan to come up short, the city felt that, but I know that nobody feels it more than the players and the coaches on that squad. But this is the number one player in San Antonio high school football from along the wire, Ashton DeBose. Congratulations. And when this comes out, you will be seeing the edit that Collision has made as well for the top 10. So just a quick overview. You don't have to run it back, Joe. Number 10, Carson Green. Number 9, Alejandro Tavares. 8, Ricky Gonzalez. 7, Houston Hendricks. 6, Brendan Flowers. 5, Anthony Evans. 4, Gavin Woods. 3, Tyler Turner. 2, Johnny Bowens. 1, the Ashton DeBose from Brendan High School. All right, that ends our first segment. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Thank you. Thank you. We are back for our second segment. That was a quick commercial break. This past week, I was at the UTSA football camp, and you always end up meeting people and talking to coaches and parents on the sidelines and stuff like that. And I had the opportunity of running into Odell Beckham's trainer. And I think some of you may know him. His name is Rashad Whitfield, a.k.a. the Footwork King. There he is right there. Mr. Rashad Whitfield, a.k.a. Footwork King, as everybody knows him as. I was able to bend his ear a little bit, and he was more than gracious enough to chop it up with me for a little bit. He had brought a kid down who actually ended up getting an offer from UTSA that night. He was talking to me about the kid, and I was like, while I have this opportunity, you always want to
pick someone's brain.
Yeah, pick his brain. And not ask, shake your hand. Nah.
Just like a conversation,
exactly,
of coaches or of people in the trade, and just seeing their opinion on things, and
exactly
that's the way you learn, man.
And
everyone learns off of each other.
And so what I'm giving to you all, you San Antonio high school football players, that this man was telling me about is, you realize trends, and I know kids are impressionable, and it's something that everybody's seen. Everybody knows how Odell Beckham starts off and how he lines up, right? It's become a fad or a trend, like the whole, almost like one of those photo poses where you put your hand over your knee and you're looking over at the quarterback. Like everybody knows the stance, right? I don't have to stand up and do it, right? So I talked to him and I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm seeing kids do this where did that come from? And he said, man, let me tell you. He said that derived from Odell Beckham realizing by looking at film that defenders thought that he was taking a play off and that it was a run play. And so he started resting and beginning in that position to get an advantage. So while everybody's doing this and he's using it as a mechanism to gain an advantage on the defense. It's not just, oh, this is how I start off. This is my style. He took advantage of the defense trying to think that they're getting a break.
No. But a lot of these kids also don't realize it's Odell Beckham, a pro. You know, some of these DBs going to come in within 2 yards. He's probably not going to do that because he's going to expect a jam. He's not going to be able to pick his arms up from there. So
right.
So shed the defender off.
So what,
they got to know when they're going to use this.
Exactly. And it's something that happened organically. It's not like he went up there like, oh, I'm just gonna start in this position. It was something that he realized that he was taking advantage of the defender, and it would be really interesting to see when that first started and how he performed after doing that.
But you see how the conversation started when you had said it. It was based off of him studying film, right? And what other defenders were thinking. So other defenders were also studying his film,
right?
And noticed that so like they were studying each other. So what does that tell you, young athletes? Go and study film on your opposing players, your opponent. Study film on yourself. See what your tendencies are and what you see that you're consistently doing, and see what's helping you and what's not. It's not one of those things where you go based off of what someone else is having success on.
Exactly. And then also when I'm out here at these camps, I like to point out little errors or flaws that can help trim your times when you're out here doing it. So my actual first question to him outside of that was, hey, how can I give little pointers on how to stop receivers from having false steps on like these drills? And he went through that with me, and I'll share that with the kids when I see them out there doing the drills. But then going back into the Odell Beckham startup stance, he showed me how all his power was still on his back leg, and he doesn't have a false step even coming out of that position. But then once again, exactly how you said, this Odell Beckham, he's a professional, and if somebody is trying to take advantage of him doing that, he may have a counter to it, but he's probably not going to do it like you said if they're going to press him and they're just two yards away from him. But it was something that he developed watching film and trying to take advantage of the defense.
Yeah, you got to have multiple tools in your tool belt.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is when you come to the line, you got different ways of getting off the line, not always just one way, because then you're going to shortchange yourself. So as you're practicing, and you continue to practice throughout the season, get with your coach, your receivers coach, and see what he allows you to do and see what y'all can come up with, and get yourself at least 3 or 4 ways of getting off the line, but at the same time still being fluid, it not slowing you down, and you still doing what you got to do. And
everything that works for somebody else isn't going to work for you.
Exactly.
That's why I said, hey, develop your own stance, develop your own, but develop your stance, but still be not develop bad habits out of it. You don't want to just look a certain way because this is how you're starting off and you want to throw the defense off. Like, nah. It was just really organic how that even came about. But like Coach Gomez said, and like Coach Rashad Whitfield had said, he learned that from taking advantage of looking at film and what they thought he was doing.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a little nugget that was very important for San Antonio high school football players to know and understand, because I know a lot of y'all kids love Odell Beckham. So know and understand why he even began to do that. Not just get out there and try to do it, and then you get caught in a position where you don't know how to react to somebody playing defense on you.
So this is a segment fun fact.
Yeah, segment fun fact. There you go. There you go. Exactly. So don't get caught out here trying to be somebody that you're not. For sure. All right. So that was that segment. We're going to take another quick break, and we will come back and have our final third segment for this show. We are back. This is segment 3 of episode 140 of Along the Wire. the top 10 episode. We went through the first segment of the show, breaking down the top 10 through 1. And then we talked about my conversation with Rashad Woodfield, a.k.a. the Footwork King. Now we are going to get into a little bit of what everybody keeps asking me about when I go live on IG and what people message me about and just ask me about when I'm on the field and what the players of San Antonio High School football ask me. The triple header that kicks off August 27th in the Alamodome. We got 3 games, all including the top 10, with top 10 teams in the city from the top 25 of the Along the Wire for 2023 preseason. So let's run them over real quick.
Let's do this.
All right. The first game that kicks off is going to be Smithson Valley versus Reagan. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of a caveat to this, that our pick on this has to be our pick 'em, because I gotta win this year.
You know, but whenever I started winning last year on pick'ems, you stopped doing it, bro.
No.
Right, Joe?
Hold on. No.
Hey, once the W's were tallying up.
He was accusing you of looking at his list and
remember?
Yeah, I remember. You remember.
You don't remember? He's like, I just don't want to talk about it.
Who was the one that won those pick'ems last year?
You see? That's what I'm saying.
Coach Gomez won
2 years in a row, baby. 2 years in a row.
Bringing up old stuff.
It's gonna be like Booker T. I'm the two-time champion.
Two-time champion. We're coming in for a 3-peat this year.
Okay, so.
Oh, you coming in for the dynasty now?
Yeah, baby. We're building the dynasty here at Along the Wire.
So
pick'ems.
Game 1 is Smithson Valley versus Reagan.
Yeah.
You want to do the pick first and then talk about the game, or you want to talk about the game then go with?
We can talk about the game and then whoever slides out their pick.
All right, so
makes it more interesting. You can be like, "Oh, really?"
All right, so we've got Smithson Valley versus Reagan.
Yeah.
Traditionally, these are 2 very well coached teams, Hill and Hamilton. We've got running game, both got that checked off. Passing game, who would you give an advantage to in that situation? I'm leaning Smithson Valley.
You're leaning Smithson. I mean, that's based off of if something rolls through.
Right.
That's what you're basing it off of.
Right.
Right. So without that, would you still go with Smithson Valley?
No.
Right?
No.
Okay. So I think that you know Smithson Valley are always going to smash mouth, bring it, run the ball. That's their identity.
Right.
Reagan does the same thing, but Reagan does also throw the ball a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And involves your quarterback a lot more in the running game as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's almost you got a 3-headed monster back there. What could happen?
Tuck it and run.
Tuck it and run.
Yeah.
Hand it off, or I can pass the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, determining on who has a faster start, all that other stuff is going to determine the outcome, of course. But defensively, Smithson Valley is always sound. Same thing with Reagan as well.
It's such a, these games are really even, all of them.
I mean, but if me personally, with the rosters that they have now, I'd go Reagan. 24-21 Reagan.
24-21 Reagan.
Yeah.
Being as how things are right now, I'm still gonna go Smithson Valley. I think that with that offensive line and with what they have going for this year, I think that they're going to get started off and they're going to be focused.
No.
I think that how their season could finish is how it's going to start. And I really think that they're going to be very calculated, and they will. I'll pick, what'd you say, 24-21?
Yeah.
I'll pick 24-21 Smithson Valley. And that's not copying. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Look at Joe over there. He's holding the CCs up. Copycat.
You let Coach say his picks first, and then you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Ditto.
Ditto. So I'm gonna take Smithson Valley 24-21, and you got Reagan 24-21.
Yeah.
So let's jump over to Johnson.
But don't get it twisted. Even though I'm a fan of Coach Hill out there.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Johnson versus Judson. This is one that I think is gonna be a high-scoring, fun affair.
Yeah.
And one that I'm gonna pick Judson to win off top. I'll pick Judson to win. I think I may have said within a score before, but I'm gonna say that they win this game by 10. I'm gonna say they win this game by 10, and I'm looking at the winner like a 48-38 type game.
I look about 35-17 Judson.
Ooh. So, okay, so you're expecting that defense to...
Yeah, 35-17 Judson.
Okay. I think that, honestly, that, they're going to have to answer the questions in the secondary.
Yeah, because Judson right off the rip, I mean, they got athletes.
Yes.
Right off the rip. Then they got roster. You know what I mean? They're going to have a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got a good pool of kids to choose from at that school.
Yeah.
And then just to factor all that in with Coach Soto, what he's done since he's been there, building it back to what it's doing. I mean, that first game's going to be
hype,
yeah. And not to mention, he left on a good note, I believe, from Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, whenever he had that All-Star, when he was coaching the All-Star game, I mean, he was at Judson and still had his Johnson coaches out there.
Right. I think he's very well versed in understanding on how to do his best on going about things the right way.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's all you could ask of, is do your best. No one's perfect. Just do what you can.
Right. So so you're saying 35-17
Judson. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going 48. I'll go 48-38 Judson.
Okay.
48-38 Judson. 48-38 Judson.
I just see that, there's going to be a lot of butterflies. There's going to be a lot of hype, emotion, and I think there's going to be some, mistakes mentally, some false starts. It's going to be a slow start, but once things start rolling, it's going to.
But see, exactly. So, I mean, I'm expecting, if there's going to be bumps in the road for Judson, I think it's going to have to get out this game. I think.
Oh, it's gonna definitely, because you got, who do you got second?
Well, yeah,
you're gonna have to get it out. You have no choice.
Exactly, because then you got Westlake in week 2.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I'm gonna be looking at this game for. I want to see those undisciplined tendencies nipped, or at least if they happen, then okay, let's see how this. How
you're gonna respond?
Yeah,
what I mean?
Exactly, and I think that I think that Coach Miller will be able to take advantage of some of that, because it's going to be like, all right, if everything is good and everything's rolling, and exactly how we've been praising how the school is receiving Coach Soto, and like how the players are talking about it. Now it's the action part.
I mean, because now you're gonna have, who's it? Ty will be leading. Johnson, correct?
Ty Hawkins, yeah.
Which, I mean, he got a little bit of varsity experience, but the kid's a gamer though too.
Exactly.
I mean, seeing that kid work over the summer and the spring, I mean,
and he's another receiver turned quarterback.
Oh yeah, I mean, that kid. For those that don't really know him, that kid used to play with it's called the Alamodome Drillers. This top team in baseball back in the days when he was younger. So he's used to playing at high competition, Florida. They would travel everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that kid was part of that group, was always successful. So he knows how to be successful. You know what I mean? And that transitions over in life. You've been successful since you were a little kid, and then going into your high school years, all that's going to transition. So I believe that he may come out a little rusty against Judson, but, by week 2, week 3, that kid works so hard. He knows what hard work is, that he'll start rolling. He'll start rolling.
So yeah, I'm just really interested in seeing that, because and seeing how things turn over for Judson, and seeing how Johnson answers the bell and responds with Coach Miller. With him already being there, I think that makes things a little bit more comfortable and an easier fit for the players to listen with Coach Miller.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good, and I think it's gonna be a fun, exciting game. And I'm going 48-38 Judson.
Gotcha.
Next up, lastly, as we were doing talking on the live. And I got this question again. Why do I think Brennan is going to beat Steele? How the question was formed, because I've spoken about this a couple of times. And me saying that's not saying that this is going to be some blowout game. I'm saying that when you take the top 2 teams in San Antonio, and you start going word for word, coach for coach, position for position, it almost becomes what in battle rap they call a preference. And it's like, well, it's the same thing, but I prefer this style of player. I prefer this style of coaching. I prefer this, and this is why I think, and because everything just seems so even when you start talking about these 2 schools.
Yeah.
So I am sticking with Brennan
For sure.
but I'm gonna go with not even a touchdown win. This is gonna be like one of those odd, like 6 or 4-point wins, when it's like when a penalty is gonna keep a drive going that would have stopped it, or it's gonna be
not to mention,
conversion.
I'm one of those. I've told you before, I'm a firm believer. I mean, whoever's leading that offense, right? And it's always great to have experience leading that offense.
Exactly.
And you got Ashton DeBose there with 3 years experience.
Boom.
You know what I mean? You got Steele still not knowing exactly who they're gonna start. Maybe this year they might go with Warner.
So let's say it's Chad.
Okay, they might go with Chad.
Right.
Not saying the kid's not great or can't be great.
Right.
He just doesn't have the experience of yet leading the varsity team. Can he possibly pull it out? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you always cheer for a kid who's young, getting the reps.
And you see that he could do. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a fan of him. But at the end of the day, I want to be realistic with numbers, be realistic with records. You know, hell, the kid's along the wire top 10 player, number 1. You know what I mean? Not to mention, you also got the along the wire number 3 player on there in Tyler Turner, which is another guy who's leading that defense and who's a leader back there. So as far as Brennan's concerned, you got a guy on the offensive side of the ball who's a leader, a guy on the defensive side of the ball who's a leader. So right there, that combination alone puts an advantage.
Exactly.
And then you have Love coming back, running the ball.
Yeah, Jason Love.
Right.
You've got Avron Carter coming back from injury, who they didn't have in the playoffs last year.
And then you got their head coach, who's just a defensive, I'd say defensive genius. I like the way he runs his defenses, man. Real stern dude and always bringing it.
Yeah. Wakil Mateen, you got Gabar, who else?
And still got some
DeBose.
names too, and they got some young names as well. No disrespect at all to Steele. They always got a great program. They're great at what they do as well. But at the end of the day, Brennan's coming in with more experienced players. If you would ask me, more seasoned.
Like if I had to go captain, like not captain for captain, but like position for position. When I look at, if I'm going safeties, I'm gonna give Brennan the edge over Steele when it comes to safeties. Didn't we do that last year?
Yeah.
Let's run down there real quick. Now, cornerbacks, I'm gonna say I'll give the edge to Steele right now. I'll give the edge to Steele. If I'm going linebackers, I'll edge Steele. I'm going defensive line. I'm edging Steele. If I'm going offensive line, I'm edging Brennan. Quarterback, Brennan. Running back, Jaden Bailey.
Yeah, but also too,
and
Brennan got 2 running backs.
Yeah.
They got 2 consistent guys. Well, Bailey too. Bailey's good.
Bailey's nasty. He just committed to Utah State, as a matter of fact. Congrats. And then receivers. This comes back to the receivers. Like, what? I might edge Steele in receivers. And then, this is what makes this game, because you can talk about it and still,
it's a preference, like you said. Right? It's a preference.
Yeah. But exactly how you said, which is one of the last positions. I know I just said it, but quarterback, I got to go with Ashton over Chad at this time. Baser, Signs, it's like, okay, like you don't lose. either way.
Yeah.
So it's a push there. Off.
Gonna be an exciting game, bro.
Okay, so offensive play style. Which play style do you prefer? I think I prefer Brennan's play style because I think Ashton knows that offense like crazy, and they're able to let him move about freely.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you've gotten continuity that you've been the last 3 years as starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You've gained trust. That's where I feel that's a huge edge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not saying that Steele wouldn't be able to handle up or do what they got to do. You know,
exactly.
'Cause they always got like once again, great pool of kids out there, great coaches, great everything that they built out there is top notch. But at the end of the day, you know, Brennan's top notch in their ways.
All right. Would you feel any differently if it was Connor Vincent at quarterback?
Nah.
Still go Ashton?
Yeah, for sure.
But see, these are the type of conversations that you love to have when it comes to a game, because you still at the end of it end up not knowing. Really, I mean, you might feel a certain way. So let me see. I'm saying Brennan's gonna win. I'll say 34-28. And that's putting up 28 on a Brennan squad that doesn't give up like points like that.
I'll say 28-21.
28-21.
Brandon.
Is that like a fourth quarter game tied last touchdown score, or like
That's Brennan establishing this quick start and still finally like maybe going into the halftime down already 21-7. And then having to work back, and Brennan's already.
So when the second half, Steele's defense settles in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Steele getting out early, and Brennan buckling down, and it's 2024. It's 2024. Brennan at halftime. And then what did I say? I said 35.
I don't know.
34?
You want me to repeat what I said
34.
so you can take it?
Nah.
Joe,
Either way, I
laughing.
see Steele getting out early. And then Brennan weathering the storm.
So how do you see Steele getting out early and what defensive maybe making
Special teams.
Special teams. Okay.
Special teams.
Yeah, because I'm just saying
And
offensively.
Marion Contreras, I think he's gonna do something on.
If
on
Steele comes
special
out
teams.
early, it would be Bailey popping off something. That's the way I see it.
Okay. And the funny thing about that is you say that, and I'm like, you think he can run on that defense?
I mean, if you were trying to put it up, I don't see Chad doing it.
No. That's why I'm thinking.
I mean, I could be wrong.
I'm thinking special teams. Because then exactly how we said, Tyler Turner being in that secondary, he's going to have his guys in position.
That's what I'm saying.
Up.
That's what I'm saying. If anybody's going to put it off for Steele, I think it would be the running game where Bailey comes and pops off. And
y'all got me picking against Steele and Jalen Jones's hat like that.
Not y'all. You're man, bro. You make your own decisions, bro.
Man.
You wore the hat on the wrong day, bro.
Man.
I mean, it ain't any different than you not wanting to support him and use the maroon bordering rug.
I should have put him underneath the maroon side of the.
It's San Antonio high school football colors right here. Okay.
All right, got you, dog. Got
this
you.
This is Steel, Cibolo Steel. That's all this is.
All right.
That's all this is. So all right, so I got a 34-28 score, and you got
21-28.
21-28 for Brennan, and I got Brennan winning as well. So just to recap, I got Smithson Valley, you got Reagan. We both have Judson, correct? And then we both have Brennan winning in the triple header. Make sure y'all get out there. Go to Las Palapas and buy your tickets. $15 for an adult ticket, and $10 for kids for 3 games. In the AC, been 40 what 6 days of 100-degree weather. Come and chill in the Alamodome. I'll be there all day. Coach Gomez will be there. So what's gonna be going down here in the Alamo City?
Yep. Like
All
you
right.
said, get your tickets either at Las Palapas. You can go, I think, to the schools as well, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
you can probably go to the Alamodome box office.
Yeah. But if you show up at the Alamodome, you know it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more. You can get your surcharges and so forth.
Exactly.
But like you said, there's 3 games, good football. A lot of you youngsters that are coming up that are freshmen, sophomores that aren't in the varsity level.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
those are going to be some good teams out there that you can learn from.
Exactly.
I recommend you go out there, middle school people, if y'all are on here.
7th, 8th graders get out there.
If y'all are tapped into our show, parents that are tapped into our show, take y'all's kids out there and there's some good coaching going on, and watch them go at it.
And if y'all play Friday night, get out there Saturday.
Yeah,
get out there Saturday, man. It's gonna be going down because you're gonna end up having to go watch these schools later.
Well, not only that, if you're a guy who plays on Friday night, you may see these guys later on in week 2, week 3, or maybe in the playoffs.
Exactly.
So you can start trying to do some studying right now, do some of your research.
Exactly. All right. So instead of breaking from the third segment, we'll just close out here.
Do it.
We'll close out here. Hey, thank y'all so much for supporting and watching On the Wire episode 140. The top 10. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and follow, comment. I'm answering comments as fast as possible on all media, on all social media outlets. I drank water and my throat's still getting me. We thank you for all interactions. This episode will be out ASAP, and make sure y'all follow us. Y'all see the handles on the screen. Follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will be bringing you more clips and snippets and bloopers and the behind the scenes stuff. So it's going down. This has been Along the Wire with Level Up Productions, and Hook 'em, Birds Up, 210. We out.